Coming up,
retaining a client through whatever means you can. Well, maybe not whatever means you can, but ethical means. It's going to be your bread and butter. The clients are the people that obviously pay you to offer the service, and then if you can grow them, I think that just props your business up for success in the future.
What I'm seeing in this kind of young market, it's fun, it's very youthful, it's fast moving. In Europe, everyone still works on spreadsheets and heat maps and all that kind of stuff. In Africa, you've got communities buzzing with energy, and it's not boring, put it that way. It's a very exciting market basically because it is so useful.
Affiliates shouldn't be viewed as acquisition partners. They should be viewed as growth partners. They're almost aligned businesses. They're like fractional aligned businesses, if that makes sense. Where they should look to retain players in the same manner, using the same creatives, using deals that hook players in, that bring players back. It's not just a case of driving traffic. That shouldn't be how it's viewed. That's not how the most successful affiliate programs operate. The most successful affiliate programs operate such that they work closely with their affiliates. They have great affiliate managers who create great relationships.
previously.
Operators think of building theirs versus buying. What do you think they underestimate in terms of like the difficulty or the time it takes? And maybe possible examples of where you've seen people try to go their own way, then eventually come back, and what led to them coming back.
Of course. So the build versus buy, let's say differences or effects that take place between those two choices would usually start with the launch timelines. So with building your own, it can take from 12 to 24 months, which is, a process. And by that time, you would have lost, as an operator, you would have lost some market share, some, unique edge in terms of, entering the market. Because as I did mention, things change all the time. You might find the time that you are launching, the taxation is even higher. Your platform still needs to adapt to these changes even before, the final build.
Dear listeners, thank you for being part of the iGaming Africa podcast. This session is brought to you by RavenTrack. RavenTrack is an advanced affiliate tracking platform that provides industry-leading tracking solutions for your multiple traffic channels. Remember to visit our website iGamingAfrica.com for the latest news and updates from the iGaming industry in Africa. Hello everyone, welcome back to the iGaming Africa podcast. And today I'm joined by amazing guys from the RavenTrack team, a platform reshaping affiliate marketing in iGaming in Africa and beyond. They're one of the fastest growing in the space, and I'm super excited about this episode. So we'll talk about different things from marketing to data and several success stories. I should let you guys hear from them. Other guys, could each of you briefly introduce yourselves and share how RavenTrack is what you're doing in Africa in general? I think I'll start with Max.
So I'm Max. I'm one of the technical account managers here at RavenTrack. I have a keen eye for data. Obviously believe that data is king and is key for growth. So I like to keep my eye on everyone on how they're doing from start to finish, and just to make sure brands are growing in the correct manner.
Oh, thank you. Super nice to meet you, and I'm excited to hear from you.
You too.
Aaron, do you want to go next?
Yeah, hi, my name's Aaron. I'm the head of sales and partnerships. Bit of a mouthful, but yeah, I'm in charge of bringing on new brands, operators to RavenTrack. I've been with the company for nearly 5 years now, and it's been an amazing journey. And as you'll probably find out, I think RavenTrack's pretty good.
Super nice to meet you. And Warren, I've spoken to you before, and I know you're the guy with the stories. So do you want to share a bit, about yourself and what like your job at
Yeah,
RavenTrack?
sure. Sure. So obviously, I'm Warren. My job title is Client Success Manager at RavenTrack. I think what's interesting about the people that you have on this call is really from start to finish. So, Aaron starts with the sales. It then comes to me. I'm responsible for onboarding the clients and helping with adoption, and then that gets passed over to Max. So you're really seeing the full cycle of a RavenTrack client's perspective, or the people that work with them throughout that process. Um,
And the beautiful faces that they get to see as well.
So I feel like I have so many questions, and I'm so curious about so many things, especially with your work. But I feel like I'm going to start with Aaron, who is in charge of sales, marketing, and I know you've worked across, different spaces. And looking at affiliate marketing across regions, what's some of the differences, or what would you say are the biggest differences you've seen in Africa?
Yeah, good question. I'd say the biggest difference is how affiliates actually operate day to day. And in Europe, it's very digital, very data driven. Everyone's sat in front of a dashboard. They're tweaking their SEOs. In Africa, it's far more personal. You've got people running call centers, local shops, taxi ranks, and community agents. Literally walking someone through sign up, showing them how to do it, helping them make their first deposit on like something like mobile money. It's a lot more human, if that makes sense. And payments are another big one. I mean, Europe is all card, bank, maybe PayPal. Show my age there, but in Africa, it's like mobile money. Everyone's got mobile money, so affiliates build their strategy around that, and they've got to make sure it's done correctly, if that makes sense. And look, the market's still very much in their infancy compared to Europe. Europe's very mature, which is actually a massive opportunity in my eyes. There's room for innovation, there's room to test things, and there's rooms to do things differently and get it right from the beginning. Because a lot of these bigger boys, they had to trial it and they had to try things, but now you know what does work in other regions. And of course, you're going to have your challenges in Africa. I mean, in all regions, slower integrations, infrastructure hiccups, the internet and regulations. Sometimes feels like everything's written on the back of a napkin or a cigarette packet. But the big thing is that it's all built in Africa around trust and local community. And I think that's a huge thing, because you have the fanciest tech in the whole wide world, but ultimately if it doesn't fit in with the culture of the people, then it doesn't work. So it's got to work for the region, and that's why RavenTrack has grown so big in Africa. I'm sure we'll talk about that, but we've listened to the market, we've listened to the region, and we've not dismissed it by saying we know the best way. What we've actually done is, you understand your region better than us. How can we adapt our platform to fit in with you guys? And I suppose that's why we've done so well going forward.
Oh, definitely. That's really interesting because I feel like a lot of times, when people think of affiliate, they just think it's something quick, like, oh, it probably just it's not sustainable. I've had people say, oh, most times it's just like so many misconception, especially with data and marks. What would you say is some of the ways like affiliate brand actually does not think of just the short term? Because I've had people say, oh, affiliate is so focused on like, getting people in, not like on how to make them stay, or then, or people have to like, I feel like there's just so many misconceptions around that, especially in terms of longevity of, the players or staying back with the team that they're being recruited into.
It's a funny metric player lifetime value, because it's really underdeveloped and underlooked at. People need to look at affiliates not just as acquisition partners, but more like growth partners. So to keep the player involved, keep the player interacted, and ways of doing this, things such as creative alignment. So the affiliates aren't just promoting generic bonuses; they're doing the things that keep the players active, such as promoting in-play betting, daily spins, those kinds of things. Also sharing the top level data. that to provide to affiliates, so they have more visibility on what they are doing well and what they're not doing too well. Just if they have KPIs that are together, then they can really grow successful brands, and we've seen it firsthand going in the past, and we hope to see it going forward as well.
Oh, nice. So talking about successful brands, I have a question for you, Warren. From your perspective, what would you consider a successful campaign, or like what's some of the most impressive campaigns you've seen in Africa, and what do you think made it particularly successful?
Yeah, there's two that pop front of mind whenever I think about these types of campaigns run across Africa. I would like to use the South African reference first, just that being my home country, but I'll stray away from that. There was one by a company by the name of Betika, and the campaign title was "Bet on Yourself." They essentially enlisted Ronaldinho, where he visited Kenya for charity events and football exhibition matches. And I think where the success came from that campaign was the authenticity behind it. It wasn't really just a photo shoot for Ronaldinho. He was actually embedded in the community. His presence. Well, like I said, it just wasn't for the clout, for lack of a better word. And I think because of that, it really resonated with locals, and as a result, it starts to really feed into the online space. So because of that offline presence that he had, um, this has created opportunities for content online. So it really amplified people talking about it online, through the online chat rooms, through TV, and so on. And as a result, it really worked out well for Betica. So that's probably the one that pops front of mind.
So this is for you, Aaron. Currently, there's so much going on in the Africa space, especially around regulation. Different regions is literally something happening, and this has been for some operators. They're like, "Oh, the future for iGaming in certain markets is becoming quite uncertain." What's that looking like for affiliate market, especially in partnership with this project?
Yeah, I mean, regulations here, and let's just say in a developing region, some countries are very structured, but others are still figuring things out, and it's tempting for affiliates, I suppose, to kind of swoop in, grab what they can, and then disappear. But the ones who will survive this kind of regulation world is the ones who take a longer view, and we've seen it in Europe and more developing regions as well. It's about building trust. So having a brand that people recognize, working properly with operators, and actually adding value to players is. I'm always going to compare it to something like dating because I'm a single man. But you can be that one night stand, or you can be the guy that kind of sticks around, meets the family, gets invited to weddings and stuff like that. But long term affiliates are the ones which are going to build those kind of lasting relationships, kind of adapting when the rules change, and being really transparent. Because of regulations, catches up. It's always going to do it. So you'll smash those smash and grab guys. They'll be gone. They'll be the ones that you know who did it right, and the ones who will be standing at the end and still making money. So it's about building relationships. It's about understanding regulations and moving with the times, if that makes sense.
That's a sorry to interrupt, but that's the cheekiest plug I've ever seen for you being single. That's so funny.
Thank you very much. We'll put an attachment to my Tinder profile after this if you want.
So, following up on that, I think I have a follow up question for you, Aaron. You made mention of adding value to the player. What does that mean when you say add value to the player?
Adding value to players is about bringing players that are long term, that aren't just there for the bonus the bonuses and stuff like that. I think with any tracking technology or any technology at all, we're there to show how valuable a player is. And ultimately, how affiliate marketing works is driving those players to brands. And if you're just an affiliate that's just trying to get numbers through the door, you're not really going to add value to anything. If you're more calculating, going after players with actual value, they're going to stay there, they're going to be profitable. Then you're bringing players with value, and that's what adding value means in my world.
Oh, nice. So Warren, to you, I feel like a lot of times we've seen, I think I spoke about it a bit with Max earlier, and we've seen affiliates, especially the traffic is always, the focus. Everyone is like, oh, how much traffic did you generate for me? But can you share a story where one of the people you worked with, where retention was actually where the growth was focused on rather than even the traffic in the beginning, and what
Yeah,
that looked like?
sure. I think it touches a lot of my role. Being in client success, one of the things that I've noticed across different industries that I've worked in is that while it's great to have Aaron's team bringing in new sales, new client acquisition is definitely a revenue stream. But where a lot of companies grow is from client retention. I've seen bigger clients come in, and as a result of them growing, they represent a larger share of revenue. So to answer your question in terms of an example, one of the clients that we have in Africa, their registrations and their first time deposits are up there. They're in line with some of our bigger clients globally. But when we look at their actual net revenue over time, it's a lot higher. So while they're bringing in new clients as much as any other company, the fact that their net revenue numbers are a lot higher shows that they're retaining clients. And I think from that perspective, you can kind of draw the conclusion that retaining players is actually where you're going to get more money. If one player comes and bets £20 and then he never comes back, that's not really valuable. Whereas somebody who bets £10 today and bets another 10 tomorrow, that represents, I suppose, more sustainable growth.
True. So I know a lot of times, we've seen people say, oh, probably didn't work. I feel like you guys would have had circumstances like that where maybe the founders are like, oh, you just brought in people, they didn't stay. I don't know. But I'm also curious to see, because personally, I've always believed affiliates' role is to, get the people to notice the brand, bring them in. Then it's up to the project to have what's it called, exciting offers to keep them to stay. I don't know, Warren, what's your perspective on that?
I think it's important. New client acquisition is always going to be something that a business needs to have. You always need to bring in new customers, and I don't think that necessarily detracts from trying to retain them. I think that props it up. The more new clients you gain, the more opportunity you have to retain them and ultimately secure more growth from them. When you look at it from RavenTrack's perspective as a software, as a solution, we want our clients to stay with us because obviously we want them to grow. So I think retaining a client through whatever means you can, well, maybe not whatever means you can, but ethical means, it's going to be your bread and butter. The clients are the people that obviously pay you to offer the service, and then if you can grow them, I think that just props your business up for success in the future.
Yes, definitely.
Nice backtrack on the ethical stuff. I like that. Good going.
So I feel like Warren made mention of something about when the affiliates comes in first. They checked the data of one of the client, and they saw that the retention was, where the actual growth was happening. For you, Max, because that's definitely data. Looking at the people coming in, the money you're making, and how you're keeping them in. What's some of the ways people can genuinely use data to grow, especially for smaller brands without, like, access to big analytics budget and the likes?
The thing is, tracking is important. Obviously, not everybody has the means to pay for software, but start with what you've already got is would be my suggestion. For those that can't do it, and grow to a position where you can get the best technology in the business. Plug to ourselves, to RavenTrack, but yeah. So tracking repeat customers, things like that, they can see in the back end, regardless of whether they've got a tracking software or not. They can see customers that are coming back. They can see which of their products are doing the best. They can see the times of their transactions, what times might offer the best value to players. Use Excel, use Google Sheets. That they can be BI tools. With a bit of manual work, of course, they can show what metrics they need to show to the operators to be able to gain value from certain players and certain affiliates. But the main point is to focus on the KPIs that they actually can action. Don't use the vanity metrics. Nobody cares about impressions or really clicks if they're not bringing in the money.
I do when I'm pricing up.
Yeah, but in reality, the operators aren't too bothered about the impressions and clicks. They just care about how many customers are coming back and how much money is coming through the door.
Oh yeah. So I know you said don't care about the vanity metrics. Everyone cares about the clicks though.
Data is king, but you've got to pay for it.
Data is king, 100%. But if for those that can't quite afford the best in business, the best in market tools, use what you can. Would be my best suggestion.
So when the user they have access to, what do you think are some of the, because when you don't look at the vanity metrics, I think for some people they don't even know where the line is when they think of vanity metrics. What one of the most underused points you think affiliate marketing, people looking to engage in affiliates should be looking at, especially when they think of data? What's one, underused data point you think they should be focusing on but ignoring?
The main thing is the quality of traffic. It's not how much traffic, it's the quality. And at RavenTrack, we noticed that, and we value that for operators to use. So the lifetime value of a player, for example, affiliates can see how much revenue that player is bringing in, so they can discuss how much they want to earn from the operators, so on and so forth. Affiliates should demand transparency. That's the main thing, because it validates their premium placements and their deal structures. Another thing which people tend to overlook is cross vertical behavior. So how a player goes from casino to sportsbook to bingo, and all within the same central system. So you can see again on RavenTrack how much a player has deposited, where they deposited, was it a casino deposit, and where did they end up using that wager and stakes going forward.
Yeah, I'll add to that as well. Sorry to interrupt. The player's journey is one of the most undervalued things that, because the online gambling brands use, because if you know how they're getting to a particular section, you know how to make your platform look, or your gambling site look more pretty, and actually give that player that journey and keep them on the site look for longer.
It's low barrier to entry is what I notice is always key for this growth. The lower the barrier to entry, the easier it is for a player to return. Players in reality hate having to work.
People,
No one wants.
people,
Everyone's lazy. Everyone just wants an easy click of a button, and they've got money on the site, and they can gamble away.
plan for people's laziness. That's what Raven.
That's a good tagline. Plan for people's laziness. I like that.
Me too.
Raven track, plan for people's laziness. I love it.
Aaron, this question is for you. I know you spoke about like doing things to lazy people basically, and also looking at the demographics. In Africa, we have a young and mobile first, which you mentioned, and you spoke about things like mobile money. What how helpful has that been for conversion and also brand interaction?
Great question. I mean, I think that's a game changer, really. I think most people in Africa, I suppose in the rest of the world, I'm just old, have skipped kind of desktops altogether and just gone straight to mobile. So, I mean, plenty of people in Europe, I still remember walking into betting shops in Africa. For a lot of people, the first time they've ever bet is on the phone, and then that's someone, whether they're on using WhatsApp or TikTok or sending money, following football scores, whatever. It's all on mobile. So affiliates don't just need to rely on your SEOs or blogs or chunky funnels or anything like that. They can. It's not about short term or snackable content, but what it's now about is how you get that out onto socials, how you get that onto WhatsApp groups, how influencers do it. If Taylor Swift says she's betting on something, you're betting on what Taylor Swift bets on. You know, I suppose how you've got to think about it nowadays is, imagine you've got 200 mates buzzing in a WhatsApp group about tonight's game, right? And the affiliates, let's say, is the trusted person, and they just drop a link in that WhatsApp group. That WhatsApp group. That's the vibe. That's what people are betting on. And what I'm seeing in this kind of young market, it's fun, it's very youthful, it's fast moving. In Europe, everyone still works on spreadsheets and heat maps and all that kind of stuff. In Africa, you've got communities buzzing with energy, and it's not boring, put it that way. It's a very exciting market, basically, because it is so useful, and it's so easy to engage players by having them as a trusted ally rather than an affiliate. To see someone as an affiliate nowadays is changing. You're seeing them as a mate, you're seeing them as a friend, and that's how you can get 200 people to register on a site just by being in a group. And it's really, really, yeah, it's exciting, put it that way.
Oh, nice. I think earlier when we were talking, I could remember, Warren said something, and then Max was like, "Oh, privacy is like important or something." So I don't know, like, how important is, especially data privacy, or how does that work, especially when transferring data between, operators and affiliates? What is the structures put in place when you think of players' data?
So player data is very much kept. All the information that the affiliate and the operator requires is given, passed through to us. But it's very much kept behind code. So each player is given an ID. There's no player information. It's all GDPR compliant. But it's given a code, and each player is given a unique code, and they are forever tagged to the affiliate that acquired them, that brought them into play for that operator. And then going forward, that player journey, when they continually deposit or continually make wages, that affiliate will earn commissions based off that player forever. And that's the main crux of what our software does. It tracks and it reports, and it does it efficiently.
And that's why we call Max 1234 in our office, because that's his player ID.
So, Max, have you seen maybe other industry players? You don't have to mention names, but there's so much conversation, even down to social media, where or Facebook, or maybe Twitter, and there's so much about data, especially in terms of privacy. Do you think like that applies when it comes to affiliates, especially regarding people's privacy?
For sure. I mean, everybody needs to make sure that they're on the same page in terms of being GDPR compliant. It doesn't matter if you're the biggest in the world, the smallest in the world. It doesn't matter if you're regulated, unregulated. The player at the end of the day is who is driving the revenue for the operators and the affiliates. They need to be kept private. It's very, very important, because you can get all the information that you require, all the metrics, all the data verticals that are needed, but without information of the player. The geographic location to a degree is necessary, but no more zoned in than that. It can be as broad as that. So yeah, it's throughout the industry. It's vital that privacy is considered.
Nice. So, Aaron, you're the click guy. You need to get people to, be interested, to notice, basically. What would you say is maybe what makes a successful business, especially like maybe if you have to highlight three things, or what makes a successful campaign, if you have to highlight three things, if you were to run a campaign, what would make you say this has been super successful? If you had to mention three things, what would that be?
To attract players, to work with good affiliates, you need a good brand name, you need a hook. Gone are the days where bland company names, bland, very beige brands out there are just. It needs to have some type of hook. It needs to be done well, and you need to use all the modern technology that's literally there for you to attract players and to be marketable for the affiliates. But ultimately, yeah, it's about being edgy. I reckon nowadays it's about being different, and it's about having that hook. I talk to the guys at work all the time about brands that we work with that sponsor TV programs, and I'm like, oh wow, like, they're the ones I notice. What hooks me in? So you've got to understand your local community. So this goes back to Africa. What do the African community in particular regions, what sparks their interest? Warren talked about Betika and Ronaldinho before. Big football fan, that would get me, yeah. But then again, there might be a TV program or a musician that's particularly popular in a particular area. Is it going to be hooking in with them, or is it a social media person? Is it this? Is it that? What technologies are out there? What can you use? How can you get players? So ultimately, yeah, yeah, I could list hundreds of things, but I think looking at what makes a difference and bringing people in is having the hook, is having a good brand, and it's having clever people behind that are using all of the available technologies that are out there. It is a very different model to it was 20 years ago. And even if Africa's in its infancy, the way you do things, it can be influenced by new technology. There's no need to test anything. It works out there. What can we introduce? How can we get clever with it? How can it work with our environment? So one of the big things that RavenTrack has, I know you've not asked about this, but I like to talk about it, is that
You wouldn't be doing your job
it,
if you weren't.
exactly, it's what I get paid for. But yeah, I mean, listen, in Africa, a lot of the affiliate marketing is done offline, which is kind of against what we believe, what affiliate marketing is online. Really, everyone's driving traffic that kind of way. With us, we've identified and spoken to the African market that we know people are on the streets, people are on taxi ranks, people are in, your news agents of the world and just signing people up. So how do you trap these people? How do you make sure the people who are sending them that way should be given commissions and stuff like that for it, incentivized basically? So RavenTrack created offline tracking. Maybe we didn't, maybe we did, but I'm saying we did because I like to make grand statements. But ultimately, what we're doing is we've got it there for you. So we're working with the local community. We're learning from that, and we're putting cutting edge technology next to something which is a bit more analog in terms of people being on the street. So it's edgy technology with local knowledge, and I think that's another big thing. So big brand, big hook, local technology, and then these faces. That's what wins your business.
That's so nice. I feel like everyone has listened well without trying. It creates really nice taglines. So bouncing on that, I really want to know because we've spoken a lot about businesses, and from what Aaron was saying, how important like affiliate is literally a core part of growing a business. But Max, I feel like a lot of times people still see it as an option, like an additional add-on. What do you think? What's your thought, especially in terms of builders? When I say builders, I mean founders, businesses shifting that mindset from maybe an add-on to a core strategy of growing the business.
No, absolutely. As I said earlier on in this, they shouldn't affiliates shouldn't be viewed as acquisition partners. They should be viewed as growth partners. They're almost aligned businesses. They're like fractional aligned businesses, if that makes sense. Where they should look to retain players in the same manner, using the same creatives, using deals that hook players in, that bring players back. It's not just a case of driving traffic. That shouldn't be how it's viewed. That's not how the most successful affiliate programs operate. The most successful affiliate programs operate such that they work closely with their affiliates. They have great affiliate managers who create great relationships, and therefore, with great relationships, people can talk to people, and therefore you can kind of understand how to best grow the platform, the operating side, and grow the affiliate marketing side of things as well.
Cool. So this particular question is actually for the two of you. So I don't know who was taking first. I know across every industry, there are several misconceptions. So if you had to clear up two misconceptions about, affiliate in iGaming market, especially in Africa, or it could be the global market. Let me not niche it down. What would that be?
My first one is the growth partners and the growth partners instead of acquisition partners. I think if it starts getting viewed in that manner, the amount of traffic that will increase across the board, across the entirety of Africa, will be incredible. I think it's like, obviously they're becoming more digitalized as time goes on, the African market, but that has to align nicely with the fact that there needs to be aligned relationships with good affiliates.
Yeah, agreed. I think with affiliates that they shouldn't, like you just said there, they shouldn't be looked as salesmen. They shouldn't be it shouldn't be seen as someone just chasing the money. They've got to be look as business partners, consultants. How are you guys going to help us? How can we help you? Misconceptions are always the same, in any industry, whether it be recruitment. A recruiters, they're just a salesman chasing the money. They don't really care. Whether it be a builder, they just want to do it for as cheap as possible and build a house without actually caring whether it's good or whether it's sustainable. It's the same in this industry with affiliates, marketeers, anyone that's involved in third parties, with brands. Brands need to stop thinking that everyone's out to make money. I mean, we're all out to make money ultimately, but how we make money in the long run, if you look at all great businesses, it's about making money for each other. Okay, I watched. I'll give you an example today. I watched The Godfather the other day. I think it's Godfather 2. I'm sorry about this. I did my dissertation on The Godfather. I love it. But the movie, it talks about Hyman Rothstein, how he's the oldest gangster that was still alive, and the tagline is, he goes, the reason he's still around is he always made money for his partners. He never looked at it about making money for himself. So I know it's a film, I know it's a book and all that stuff, but ultimately it rings true, doesn't it, in this industry? If you're working with a partner rather than someone you see as a salesman, I think you're going to get the best out of both parties, and that's what's really important. At RavenTrack, without a doubt, we look at everyone as part of our family. When they join us, we say welcome to the family. That's the title of the email. I know it sounds really cheesy and corny, but we don't make money if you guys don't do well. So our success, our longevity as a business is based on the fact that the people who are buying off us are doing well. Okay, if we're just after a quick sale and then running away from it, you're not going to last as a business very long.
Also, we love a tagline, so obviously, welcome to the family has to be there.
That's another one. When the tracking shit, quit, and welcome to the family.
And people, Raven Track, people hate lazy or something. I can't remember what
Yeah, there you go.
the tagline
Today we have like 4 or 5 taglines,
is.
right?
Yeah.
You need to make sure you bleep a lot of this conversation out.
Um, Also, do you guys have anything exciting going on right now? I'm just curious, Raven Track, what's going on like in house?
We have a few nice platform updates coming in the near future. One being a fully customizable widgetized dashboard created by our own in-house designer. It'll be a different view for every affiliate manager that goes onto the platform. Obviously, different affiliate managers need to see different metrics, need to see different affiliates. So they'll have complete customizable view on that. Coupled with that, there'll be a new reporting layout. So going forward, we should have the ability to create your own reports to an extent. You'll be able to pick which verticals you see, tag to which other verticals, along with hopefully having scheduled reporting, because obviously going onto the platform and grabbing that report can be time consuming. We're trying to remove that. We're trying to, obviously we want people to use the platform, but the less people can use it, the better it is for everybody. Other than that, we're also exhibiting at SBC Lisbon on September the 16th to September the 18th. We're stand F911, so come and say hello to us. Come and chat about. Let's not talk about football, please, but we can talk about nearly anything else, including RavenTrack, but definitely not football, please. Thank you.
We are not interested in anything to do with Manchester
Not
United.
talking about football, especially Man United. Thank you.
Yeah, we're a bit sensitive about that subject at
Yeah,
the moment,
let's
but
really let's hone
please
in.
go.
We are not we will not talk to you about football.
No, as Max said, like RavenTrack is constantly looking to update, and one of the things which we pride ourselves on is listening to the market and understanding what they need. And part of my pitch, my sales team pitch, is always that we're a fully customizable platform, and we'll do what you guys need. We don't want to give you an out of the box product and say, listen, fit in with it. A lot of technologies do that. You fit around it, yeah? With us, we go, what's your business model? How will RavenTrack fit within it? So anything, any new features, anything, new tools like that kind of stuff, we're always interested in doing it. And I'll be honest, just from a salesman's point of view, anything that a brand wants is sellable because another brand will want it. Yeah. So it makes RavenTrack sales team and the actual product better, and it's easier to sell. Ultimately, it makes us at the top of everything. To be constantly evolving, it means you're always ahead, and to sit stagnant and to be happy with where you are means ultimately you aren't going to move forward, and you're only going to move backwards. Everything that Max said is, that's just the next sprint pretty much. RavenTrack has planned meticulously for years ahead, and we are still always adding to that every day by listening to our clients, by listening to the users, and ultimately just by understanding the market. People who created RavenTrack have worked for brands, they've been brand owners, they've been affiliate managers, and they've been affiliates. And we were born out of the fact there was a need, and born out of the fact that this is a constantly evolving market, and if you sit still, you fall behind. So we try and make sure everything we're doing is at the forefront of it and moving with it and making it relevant as well, because I see stuff that's going on other technologies, and I just don't see the relevance in it. It just sounds good. Like, I won't use examples, but you can imagine people are using AI. We need AI for everything at the moment and stuff like that. And while ours has AI capabilities, and part of our move forward is to have that. The reality is, what are you using it for? Just to sound good, So everything we use, everything we evolve, needs to be relevant and needs to add value to the users. And when we created RavenTrack, we took into consideration what the brands want, and we took into consideration what the affiliates want, and we got them involved in creating RavenTrack. So that's what we're trying to do to grow.
And just to add as well, the actual tagline of RavenTrack is track, optimize, grow. And I know we joked about taglines before, but that is genuinely how operators use the platform. And when we see it, I see it day to day. How I've seen people brands go from startup to millions of pounds or millions of whatever currency they're in revenue and deposits on a monthly basis. So track, optimize, grow is genuinely how we work and how we get people.
Okay, now that we're rounding up, what's one piece of advice you'd give an affiliate or maybe an iGaming company looking to build a thriving business in Africa?
I'll take this one, and I would say work hard on creating genuine relationships. You can send mass emails out, great. You might get a few bites, but it won't be long lasting. Work hard, attend conferences, meet up in real life, go on video calls, but make sure to create long-lasting relationships. And that sounds really cheesy, but it works. It works on player retention. It works on growing the brand. It works on all fronts. We've seen it firsthand on a few occasions, especially in the African market.
Agreed. I think you've got to bridge the trust between the operator and the affiliates and the players, and honestly, that's what makes it exciting. I guess it could feel a bit like the Wild West, but it's in a good way. There's hustle, there's creativity. People are finding clever ways to grow businesses, and the trick for affiliates will be keeping that local, keeping that human touch, and things will scale up. So it's very, very exciting.
Oh, nice. So, if people are looking to connect, we've spoken a lot about RavenTrack today. If people are looking to connect with the brand or connect with any of you guys, what's the best way to do that?
The RavenTrack is, as Max said, exhibits at every conference, or we attend every conference. So that's one way you can see us. Ultimately, RavenTrack has over 200 brands worldwide. Most of the affiliates throughout the world use us in the iGaming space, and there is always a connection to us. We talk to affiliates, we talk to the brands, and where needed, we'll talk to any of the technology providers as well. So we've got a website, www.raventrack.com. Oh, there. Sorry, that's what I
Yeah,
was trying to show.
and Aaron's face is on it, so apologies in advance. My younger face is on it, so kind of apologies in advance.
But there is a demo request section on the website. We are very visible on LinkedIn. We're very visible on most of the social medias and all the forums. We are connected to a lot of people. But yeah, ultimately, just reach out. We're more than happy to talk to anyone. Um, Me personally, my sales team, is about relationships. Whether you need to sign up now or whether you're just seeing what's out there, we're more than happy to show you. I know this is something. Sorry, Max, you've heard this a million times. With what we do, you know, you can't sell a tennis racket to Roger Federer. Roger Federer will tell you if it's a good tennis racket. Ultimately, that's what I do with RavenTrack. I'll put it in front of you, and as they say, I'll take the Pepsi challenge with most of our competitors. So, reach out, let us show you. Have a look, have a play, understand why we're growing at such a rapid pace and why we're growing so effectively. It's we're not a faceless brand. We are very approachable, and that's something which we have prided ourselves on, because trust comes with faces.
Yeah, and in terms of approachability as well, you can reach out to RavenTrack directly on LinkedIn, or either of us again on LinkedIn, and you'll find us through the RavenTrack page.
Yeah, so if you're looking to connect with RavenTrack, you already know what to do. Do you guys have any like final words to say before we round off?
Yeah, RavenTrack love slogans.
Yeah, I think that. But the technology works. Technology is effective. It's cutting edge. We're very flexible. We're very customizable, and really interestingly, we're really cost effective as well. Whether you're big or small, you can afford RavenTrack. Okay. Ultimately, we charge different from our competitors, which makes us affordable. Plus, everything that RavenTrack has is included in the price. You aren't paying additional for anything. So you're literally getting the same as our biggest client if you're a one-man band working out your bedroom. So, before, when you were asking Max about, what cost-effective ways can you use other than RavenTrack or any other technology, I think everyone very surprised by about how effective we can be and how flexible we can be on pricing, put it that way. And we've got a million case studies proving that, an investment with RavenTrack means you make money ultimately. And yeah, the case studies are there and proved out. And there's thousands of businesses which we can talk about just in Africa, which we've helped grow to massive, massive sizes. And that's it. You'll get us, you'll get our team, you'll get a big team of people that care about you as a business and as a region.
And most importantly, are responsive. That's what we notice a lot of people care the most about.
Yeah, absolutely. No, nothing is anyone else's job at RavenTrack. Another tagline. I should just make taglines and then sell
Just
them.
like bang,
as a,
bang, 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 bang.
Because you just keep bringing out so many today, you know.
I'm upset with myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I love it. This has been super, fascinating. I've had so much fun talking to you guys. We've laughed, shared stories. And thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you, Max. Also, thank you, Warren, for joining us. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. People that need to reach out will definitely visit the RavenTrack's LinkedIn, the website, and you can also message Max, Aaron, or anybody from the team on LinkedIn. They're pretty responsive and they will cater to your needs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, guys. And I look
Thank you.
Thank you for having us. It's been great.
Yes, and thanks iGaming Africa. It's been
Yeah,
great to
really
work.
do appreciate it.
Apologies for the swearing and the constant advertisement of my Tinder profile.
What about the face? Well, when are you going to apologise about the face?
Face is what wins me work. So, this can't be on the on the podcast. We're moving into a different area
Yeah, you
here.
can.
Do you know, by the way, the whole time you've been sat where you are, the lamp that's behind you looks like you've got a halo above your head.
Correct,
There,
I do.
like that.
Yeah,
Doesn't
yeah,
look like
yeah.
you're angelic,
Well, it would be correct, wouldn't it?
or you're balancing something on your head. I don't know.
No, I didn't even notice.
Anywho, this has gone strange. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. This has been super amazing.